and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully I can add some happy squish vibes to your day today. Okay guys, I'm really excited about today's video because it has to do with cow squishmallows. And if you know anything about me, those are my absolute favorite squishmallows in the world. As you can probably tell, I have so many cows in my collection. They are my favorite type of squishmallows. I just really love cows in general, so I am extra excited for today's video. So I had y'all submit your favorite cow squishmallows on my Instagram. Again, if you would like to submit your own things for tier list videos in the future, definitely go give my Instagram a little look and check it out, and that way you won't miss when I post that kind of stuff in my story. But today I'm going to be ranking all of the cows y'all submitted as your favorite cows. So we're gonna do another little tier list video. I have my computer all set up and I am ready to go, so let's get to it. And I almost forgot, I do have a little companion with me today. We're gonna see, because you know, working on doing the tier list on my computer / holding a squishmallow might be interesting, because I don't know that I've had a companion in the other videos, so we'll see. But I have Nightingale with me. This is the Squeezamello one. Actually, I decided to choose a cow that is not on like the ones I'm using for today's tier list, because I thought maybe it'd be a little different to have another little one on there, but Nightingale's actually not on this list. I do feel like Nightingale is an underrated cow, but we'll talk about that another time. So let's go ahead and scooch over and we will get going on today's tier list. Okay, so first I wanted to go over the categories in today's tier list. So the top, we have cream of the crop. So these are the absolute best cows in my opinion. Like, you cannot beat them. They are top tier, enough said. Then we have utterly adored. So I feel like these cows are also very cute, great cows, but you know, they're just not quite at that like elite level of cow just yet. Then we have herd worthy. So these are like definitely like good cows. This is kind of like the mid-level. So like, they're good cows, they're definitely worthy of being in my herd, or like being in your herd, for example. But you know, they're not like, again, they're not the cream of the crop. Then we have grazing the line. So also, if you haven't been able to tell this so far, they all are kind of like cow puns, because I thought it would be fun to do those like this. But anyway, grazing the line means like they are like right on the line of being, you know, they're fine, like they're cows. So I feel like in general, all of, like, I love the cows, so they're all gonna be okay, but like we're kind of grazing the line of what we're considering a good cow here. And then the last one is lactose intolerant. So that's more of saying like, I am lactose intolerant to this cow. Like, it is just not in my top. Like, it really hurts me to have this category on there, but like, I am through and through a cow squishmallow gal, but these are just not doing it for me. But I am so excited to start putting these cows in these categories. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the first cow. So the first cow that we have on this list is Miss Clay. You can actually see her right here in the screen. So one thing I will say, I do have pretty much all of the cows in my collection on this list. There are like one or two that I either don't have, or I don't have this specific version that was submitted, so we'll talk about that when we get there. But I do have Miss Clay in my collection. And y'all, I really do like Clay. Like, I liked her enough to get her. But also I feel like a lot of cows, I just am like, okay, we're getting it because it's a cow. And I think Clay is a little bit in that tier. I'm so sorry, Miss Clay, cover your ears. I think for me, I really love her look because she looks a lot like Tulloch, and I love the look of Tulloch, but I'm not a huge person on the like closed eye squishmallows, and I feel like Clay would be a lot cuter if she didn't have the closed eyes. I love that she has little like eyelashes, but it's just the closed eyes for me are not the best. So I am going to be putting her in the herd worthy category. I will say she's almost down into the grazing the line for me. Again, love all my cows, but I just, you know, I feel like we could do better with that one, so she's going in the herd-worthy category. Next up, we have Dagmar. So this is the lemon cow, basically. I think a lot of people refer to her as that. But it's like the yellow cow, which she is up on this yellow shelf, so you can't see her. But I do have this one in my collection. I think she's very cute. Again, it's fine. Like, it's a fine cow for me. I feel like I love that they have another yellow cow because like Bodhi is a plain yellowed cow. And Dagmar to me is pretty similar to Bodhi. It's just she has the lemon on her. So I feel like we could be doing a little bit better with the creativity. So I'm gonna put Dagmar in the herd worthy category as well because I definitely am glad that I got that one and put that one in my herd. However, I will say this one came out at Target and a lot of them looked very, very wonky. I feel like Dagmar in general was very like flat when you turned her to side. So like she wasn't as nicely rounded or stuffed. So that is also kind of contributing to my ranking. But I am glad we got her. I just feel like we could do a little bit better. There could be a little bit more done in creativity wise. All right, next up we have Mr. Tulloch. He is right here next to me. I love, love, love Tulloch. I don't think I could say it enough. I've talked about him and like getting him, like the journey it was to getting him in my collection in a couple of my videos. I believe definitely in the Squishmallow Storytime video. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. But I absolutely love Tulloch. I feel like I don't even have to explain it, but Tulloch is absolutely, absolutely hands down going in the cream of the crop. He is one of my favorite Squishmallows. Squishmallows, we need more sizes of Tulloch. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments below, but this size, which is like 14 maybe, I think, is 14 inch is the only Tulloch that's out there, and I think we need, like, come on, a 5-inch Tulloch. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, we can do that, but he is definitely cream of the crop for me. Okay, and the next one, I promise I did not put these in a certain order, but the next one we have is Connor, and y'all, you know where I'm going to be putting Connor. Not only are the cows my favorite Squishmallows, Connor is my absolute favorite Squishmallow. I talk about that in my favorite Squishmallow video, so if you haven't seen that and want to know why he's my favorite, definitely go check that out. But enough said. Again, Connor is immediately going in the cream of the crop spot. I mean, there is literally nowhere else for him to be except for there. All right, so the next one we have on the list is Clayton, which I think you can see him. He's actually right here on my shelf. And I will say, I said this about Nightingale, but I feel like Clayton is also such an underrated cow. I am absolutely obsessed with like the blue color. I do really like the fuzzy belly. I don't love fuzzy bellies on all of Squishmallows. I feel like they're not always my favorite. But I feel like Clayton is just so simple, so good, and I just feel like he is really, really underrated. So I'm going to be putting Clayton in the utterly adored category because, you know, he's not quite sorry, words. He's not quite Tulloch and Connor level, but he is really, really cute. I think he deserves more praise, and I just feel like he deserves being in the utterly adored category. So he is going there for this tier list. All right, next up, I feel like I did not plan this either because I'm just going based off of y'all's submissions, but a lot of the cows that are on this tier list are like actually around me in terms of like where I film my videos. But Marzio, I think that's how you say its name, is next. I actually have him right here and there, and then I have another one. Oh, he's like way up there. I have a couple versions of him. So again, this one is in my collection. I do really like Marzio. I think he's pretty cute. I will say he's probably not like my favorite. There is a different version because you can only see the ones here. These are from Owl and Goose. I have one higher up on my shelves that is from Box Lunch, I believe, and I feel like I like the Owl and Goose version better than the Box Lunch. I think it's the like his spots and stuff, that's where the difference comes in like the velvet or whatever it is. So I am going to put Marzio in the herd worthy category because I feel like, you know, he's still really nice, but I don't know. There's something about him that's just not my favorite. Like, I feel like it's just, again, we could do a little bit better, but he's going to go in the herd worthy category. All right, next up, we have Miss Rivka. You can't see her in the screen, but she is up top in one of my higher up shelves. I have her in, I actually think all the sizes that are available, because I think she comes in the 8-inch, which was more recent, the clip, and then originally I think it's like 10 or 12 inch is what she originally came out as. Fun story, I will say really quick, I missed the original release of Rivka when she first came out. I saw her on the website and I was really, really debating because I've always loved the cows, but I was like, should I get her? Because like I wasn't sure, because I wasn't sure about like the galaxy-ish print on her, but I just, I wasn't sure, but I was like, maybe I should. And me contemplating caused me to miss out on getting her because she sold out. So I actually got that version of her from another collector, but when I saw that she came in the 8-inch online and the clip, I got those immediately. But that being said, I do really like Rivka. I think she's a really pretty color. For some reason, this is like odd, but like I feel like she doesn't photograph very well, which I don't really know why, but it's just like a problem I've had. But I do really like her, so I'm gonna put her also in the herd worthy category, just because I do really like her. She's like almost in the utterly adored for me, but I don't know. Maybe it's because of the photogenic part of her. I don't know if it's just like the fabric or what. I tend not to use her in a lot of videos, it seems like, because of like how she appears on camera, but I do really like her. I just, the Galaxy and like little more complicated cows for me aren't as great as like the more simpler ones, if that makes sense. All right, next up we have Mr. Colin. I actually have quite a few Collins in my collection. They're over there. You cannot see them, but I have like some 5-inch. I actually don't know that I don't have a clip of Colin, actually. I don't know that they make a clip of Colin. That would be really cute though. But I have some 5-inch Collins. I have an 8-inch Colin. I think the picture I use for this tier list is like the 16-inch. He is way up there. I have that one. That one's from Walmart, so I think that's the picture I use. I personally like these smaller versions of Colin, but I really, really, really like the versions of Colin that have the heart nose. And I just think he's really cute. I don't know if it's because he looks pretty similar to Connor for me. Like, the colors are pretty similar. And then it just adds the heart nostrils, and that just makes it even cuter for me. So Mr. Colin is actually going to go up with Clayton in the utterly adored category because I think he's pretty underrated. I really like him. Again, not quite at the Connor level, but I think he's really, really adorable. And I feel like you just don't hear about him as much. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you have recognized that, but I just feel like he's a really solid cow and deserves to be higher up there on the tier list. All right, next up, we have Evangelica. I think that's how you say it. That's how I always say it, but I don't know if that's actually correct. Bear with me, though. So I actually do have this gal. I'm trying to remember where she is actually though. Okay, I don't know, she's somewhere, but I do have a version of her in my collection. Oh wait, sorry, she's like way up above right there. I have the one from Target that was just released. I believe it was actually this year. She doesn't have the fuzzy belly. She's got the heart nostrils. Chef's kiss. Reminds me of Colin, just in a pink version. I do really like that version of Evangelica, but specifically the version of her with the fuzzy belly was submitted by y'all, so that's the photo I used for this one. And I am so sorry. So sorry, Miss Evangelica. Just don't even listen. For me, like I said, Clayton's fuzzy belly doesn't really bother me, and I think it works. For me, Evangelica, this version of her, I just don't love. I think that's kind of why I don't have this version of my collection. So I'm so sorry, but I'm going to be putting her in the grazing the line category. Like, I might, like, if someone gave it to me, like gave this one to me, I wouldn't like give it away or something, but it's just, I don't know, it's not doing it for me. I'm so sorry, so sorry. I feel so bad. But maybe we'll like move on to a little more positive things. Okay, so the next one we have on the list is Conway. This one I actually only have the clip version of Conway. I know this one came to, I believe it was Target in the like really, really big size. I do like the clip a lot, but it's just, it's not my favorite cow. I do like the Highland cows, but I think I will, okay, I say that, but I will say the Conway clip, I just remembered when it came out at Target, I was checking my Targets literally every single day. Like, I'm not even kidding you, every single day looking for this guy because I wanted it so bad. And then, like, I feel like this happens all the time with Target, but I never want to chance it. It's like I got it, and then I literally saw them everywhere. Like, it took me forever to find it, but then I literally saw Conways everywhere, and sometimes I still see them at Target. So, I don't know, it's insane. But I'm going to be putting him also in the herd worthy category. I'm sorry, guys. I have so many in the herd worthy categories, but I feel like that's where like most cows would go for me, I guess. And then like there are like a couple outliers in terms of I don't like those as much, or oh, these deserve a lot more praise. But I'm going to be putting Conway in the herd-worthy category because I think he's really cute, but obviously like space was a factor, but I didn't like the bigger version of him enough to like get that one, if that makes sense. So that one is going in there, but I do love Conway, so don't think, Mr. Conway, don't think that I don't like you. All right, guys, so this next one that was submitted might be a little bit of a controversial one to put in the cow ranking video, but I felt like I should because I feel like some people do feel a certain way about this one, and it was submitted by y'all, so why not? So the next one we have is Sheba, and this one is actually, it's one of the Squishmallows that was released on Squishmallows Day this year, and it is like a cross between a Bigfoot and a cow. And I am not surprised that Squishmallows did that because I feel like the cows and the Bigfoots are the most, probably like the most popular Squishmallows. I would feel are like the most people collect those two specifically. So it's very interesting that they did a mashup between like two of the most popular ones. I do not have this one in my collection, so this is one that I don't have any version of in my collection. I think that's the only version of that one, though, of Sheba, but I don't have this one in my collection. I know so many people love this one, and so I feel so bad about what I'm going to say, but as y'all have probably gathered, I don't love the Bigfoots. They're just not my favorite. I really don't have any in my collection. If I do, they were either gifted to me or it was like a failed like blind capsule or blind bag or something, and I just like thought they were fine enough to keep, but I just do not seek out the Bigfoots at all. So unfortunately, just I also feel like I would not, like, it wouldn't be this low in like a general ranking, but because this is a cow ranking and I love cows so much, I'm so sorry. Sheba is going in the lactose intolerant category. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. But I am just going to put Sheba down there because it's really not my favorite. I personally would not add this one to my collection. But, you know, especially compared to what we, like the competition here in terms of what we're using for sorry. Gosh, guys, in terms of what we're using for the tier list here, that's just where I'm gonna have to put her. I'm sorry. All right, moving on to the final two on this tier list. Next, we have Toro. So I do have this one on my collection. He's actually over on this side of my room. Nightingale actually sits with Toro quite often on one of my little like shelves over there because they just don't have like a permanent place on these shelves in particular, so they just kind of chill over there. They're buddies. I really do like Toro. This one is definitely a more of a recent release. I like that he's very simple. Again, it's like the Highland cows, and I think I like the regular cows better than the Highland cows, but I do have a lot of the Highland cows and I like them too. So he's just like not quite as up there for me, I feel like. But I do really like Toro. I like the blue, the simplicity. So he's going in the herd-worthy category just because I feel like I'm very glad to have him in my collection. I would definitely get him again if I had to go back. Like, I don't regret getting him or anything. But, you know, it is simple, and I do like that. But, you know, he's just not my favorite. You know, they can't all be your favorite, but, you know, it's okay. All right, and last but not least, the last cow that we have on our tier list here is Samson. Y'all, so this one is from, I do have this one. He is, like, up on the top of the shelf on that side of my room. I really like Samson. I think he's very underrated. I feel like his coloring is so pretty. I think it's kind of like that cookie-esque design that they had for a lot of like the Easter Squishmallows, so that's around when I got this one. But I think he's very cute. Again, he is, I think, a Highland cow, so I actually have not rated a Highland cow higher than like herd-worthy, but I actually am going to be putting Samson in the utterly adored category because I think he's pretty underrated. I think the colors are so pretty. He is just very nice looking. Even though there's like a little extra design on him, I actually really like it on this cow. And I would absolutely love a 5-inch version of him. I think they did make one, but I just have not been able to get my hands on one. And I just think the 5-inch would be absolutely adorable. I don't know. Like it just would be so cute. So he's going in the utterly adored category. All right, guys, and those are all the cows that we are going to be ranking on today's cow themed tier list. I'm really happy with how it turned out. As you can see, definitely I have most of the cows in the herd worthy category, which is totally fine because, you know, I feel like the cream of the crop and the utterly adored categories are a little more selective. So I'm not entirely surprised with how it turned out. Very sad to the one we have in the grazing the line category and the one we have in the lactose intolerant category. I'm so sorry. So sorry, forgive me. But I just think it's really fun to do stuff like this, and it's always really interesting to hear what y'all's favorite Squishmallows are, what you think about a lot of the popular Squishmallows. So definitely let me know in the comments below what you think or like how you felt about the ranking in this video. But we're going to move back to the center because that is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted a cow for today's video. I'm pretty sure I was able to include at least one of everyone's submission that submitted one, but definitely have some great cows on here. I was really happy with kind of the variety that was submitted. I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised that Ronnie was not submitted. That's interesting because I feel like, again, I think I've talked about this before, but Connor, Tulloch, and Ronnie are probably my top 3 favorite cows. So it is really interesting that that one was not submitted, but that's okay. I think we have a really great spread of cows here, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. But we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Bye!